Today on the CTV News at 5, how Rick Hansen is encouraging teachers to unleash their magic and potential to inspire their students. Plus, charges are stayed in a Lethbridge manslaughter case. And the face of the RCMP in southern Alberta is retiring.
CTV News with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. Rick Hansen says we've made great progress in creating healthier, more inclusive communities, but he says there's still a long way to go. Hansen was keynote speaker at the Southwestern Alberta Teachers Convention, which opened today in Lethbridge. He urged teachers to foster the next generation, to keep pushing forward and removing barriers. As Terry Boat reports, 25 years after the Man in Motion tour, Rick Hansen remains a powerful motivator.
Thanks a lot, you guys.
Rick Hansen was given a standing ovation by 2,000 educators at the Southwestern Alberta Teachers Convention. It was 25 years ago that Hansen passed through Lethbridge as he neared the end of his 34-country, 26-month-long Man in Motion tour, a time he now remembers as sort of a turning point, with the weather getting warmer and the crowds lining the streets becoming larger and more enthusiastic.
And it really made me realize that we were having a profound impact on our country, and ultimately it inspired me to keep going through the rest of the Rockies and down through British Columbia to get home.
Rick Hansen says 25 years ago he was focusing on his goal, trying to finish his Man in Motion tour. He says the best part of this anniversary relay is recognizing the progress that's been made in building healthier, more inclusive communities, and hearing the stories of people who care enough to make a difference. People like Amanda Gass, a social studies teacher and cross-country coach from Taber.
You do a lot of work that nobody sees when you're a teacher other than your kids, and so to have yourself be recognized, especially from someone who's such a hero to me, it's so very humbling.
And inspiring to Eliza Yanni, who was injured in a snowboarding accident. The 30-year-old mother of two was only 5 years old when Rick Hansen last wheeled through Lethbridge.
I feel like I have the opportunity to motivate a lot of people, but I forget that often. And to see someone like him makes me want to, I guess, be a better person and reach out to people.
You hear these stories and you go, oh my gosh, it was part of the beginning of something special. And it really is an honor, true honor.
And so Rick Hansen is now urging these teachers to unleash their magic and potential, to inspire more young Rick Hansens to reach their goals. Terry Boat, CTV News, Lethbridge.
The 25th anniversary relay began the day in Claresholm and made its way through Staveley, Nanton and Cayley before ending the day in High River. It's scheduled to continue north for the next couple of days and then arrive in Calgary Sunday. Time to check in with Dory Rossiter. And Dory, looks like the forecast is going to remain unstable straight through to Monday.
Yeah, and it really is a timing thing, Jackie, with the jet stream crashing to the south and the system coming across from BC. It just depends where you're located as those two things collide. It looks like Calgary is going to be in the minus numbers, so the precipitation that comes across from the west will hit them Saturday as snow. Here, it will hit us Saturday as showers because we'll still be in positive numbers. That's the way it looks right now. I'll give you more details in a couple of minutes.
More weather coming up. Thanks, Dory. Well, all that snow Dory's been talking about may make for some ideal conditions for skiers and snowmobilers, but it's also prime for avalanches. Avalanche conditions are considered very dangerous in the East Kootenay backcountry. The Canadian Avalanche Centre has upgraded the avalanche danger rating to high throughout the entire East Kootenay region. The special warning covers the Caribous, North and South Columbias, the North and South Rockies, Lizard Range and Purcells from Friday to Monday. Charges have been stayed against a Lethbridge man charged with manslaughter. 54-year-old James Carl Bach was charged last August. Police say he was woken up in his boarding house by someone pounding on his door. A fight broke out and a 29-year-old man was stabbed to death. Brent stabbed last died at the scene. Earlier this month, the Crown decided to stay the charges. That means the criminal case won't proceed at this time, but it can return to court anytime within the next year. A Florida man caught at the Coots border crossing with a huge cache of weapons made his first court appearance this morning. Border guards say the driver first denied having any weapons at all. A search of the pickup revealed 75 firearms, including 48 handguns, a blowgun, a pistol crossbow, and 12 high-capacity magazines. It's the largest handgun seizure ever at the Coots crossing. 54-year-old George Foster of Florida was arrested. He's facing 10 charges, but officials say other charges are pending. He appeared in Lethbridge Provincial Court this morning via CTV. His case was adjourned until March the 2nd. He'll stay in custody until then. The case against a former Lethbridge police officer who's charged with trafficking weapons has been adjourned until later this month. 63-year-old Daniel Bennett is facing 9 counts of trafficking weapons following a joint investigation by police in Calgary and Lethbridge. Bennett, a former firearms instructor with the Lethbridge Regional Police Service, was charged in October. He'll return to court February 29th. City police are reporting that another pedestrian has been hit on Lethbridge streets. Around 5:30 yesterday afternoon, a 23-year-old woman was hit on 6th Avenue South. She was crossing the street with the walk signal when a motorist turning right from 5th Street South hit her. The victim suffered minor injuries. The driver of the vehicle, 37-year-old Allison Ewing, from Lethbridge, is facing charges. And some tense moments after a train and semi collided just west of Redcliffe this morning. The semi was hauling an empty oil field tank. The trailer was clipped by a CP freight train about 2 kilometers west of Redcliffe. The trailer was ripped right off the semi unit. Luckily, no one was hurt. The face of the RCMP here in southern Alberta is calling it quits. Sergeant Patrick Webb, a Mountie for the past 31 years, is retiring. For years, he was the public spokesperson for the Mounties who handled everything from the Pine Lake tornado to the G8 summit. Bill Marks reports.
31 years he's been in uniform, a proud member of the RCMP. Patrick Webb signed up in 1980. Now he's 58 years old, a sergeant, and it's his last day on the job. A day spent packing away memories.
This was the most interesting career I could have picked. It was, I got to do things that I never would have dreamed. If you had told me when I was a kid that I would be doing these things, I would have called you foolish.
After postings in rural Alberta, dealing with speeders, thieves, gangsters, and druggies, he became the public face of the RCMP in southern Alberta.
It's a fatal collision, it's an abduction, it is a property crime, it's a person crime. Those things, where I really enjoyed it was to be able to go in and do something for those people.
His first major assignment dealing with reporters and photographers, it was July of 2000, the Pine Lake tornado.
That was a catastrophe, a tragedy for so many people, but it was my initiation to large-scale media event.
Other assignments quickly followed. They included the G8 summit in Kananaskis country and escorting various VIPs from the Prime Minister to British royalty. Never a dull moment.
I wanted to do something that counted.
31 years a Mountie. Now the name comes off the door, and Sergeant Patrick Webb walks away from policing and begins a new life.
I'd recommend it to anybody. It's fulfilling, and it's interesting, and it was essentially fun.
Bill Marks, CTV News, Calgary.
Sergeant Webb will be missed. His immediate plans, a long vacation, then taking a look at his options. The topic of abortions brought a full house to today's Southern Alberta Council on Public Affairs. Members came out to hear arguments on whether or not abortion should be outlawed. The ongoing controversy is a topic that attracts both the young and old. Both pro-choice and pro-life speakers were on hand to deliver their stand on the topic. Each delivered presentations offering both scientific and personal views.
I think it's really important that we have these kind of debates, that we base them on science and on philosophy, but also that we convey empathy and provide support to women who are in difficult situations which may lead them to abortion.
Historically, women have always made this choice one way or another, even in times when we didn't have safe procedures. So it's not as if people will stop making this choice. Women will stop making this choice if we make it illegal.
In 1969, Pierre Trudeau's government brought in liberalized abortion laws, but the Supreme Court struck it down in 1988, and since then, no government has brought forward a new law. Seed producers from across Alberta are showcasing their work at the North American Seed Fair. The event has been held in Lethbridge since 1897 and is now the only seed fair left in Alberta. A total of 197 entries were received this year. Organizers are finding less people entering the fair, saying it's a lot of work and hard to get people to commit. But they say it's a showcase for the agricultural industry in southern Alberta.
It is very diverse. You've got anywhere from pinto beans to barley to wheat to dill, a lot of different crops being grown by different people. There's a very vibrant seed community here in southern Alberta also, and it's really a major industry and part of the agriculture industry which really you need in order for every year to continue on.
The Ag Expo will kick off Friday, February 29th at Exhibition Park. To the markets today, a solid day with the loonie closing again above parity. Here are the closing numbers.